Welcome back on this Friday. We are at the end of the week and we're not going to quite finish Luke chapter 11, but we will get close. Remember, challenges of the last couple of days. And now these kind of bleed over into a bigger issue, bigger questions as people are questioning him more. Let's start reading at verse 37. We're going to read through 44. While Jesus was speaking, a Pharisee asked him to dine with him. So he went in and reclined at table. The Pharisee was astonished to see that he did not wash before dinner. And the Lord said to him, "Now you Pharisees cleanse the outside of the cup and of the dish, but inside you are full of greed and wickedness. You fools, did not he who made the outside make the inside also? But give as alms those things that are within, and behold, everything is clean for you. But woe to you Pharisees, for you tithe mint and rue and every herb, and neglect justice and the love of God. These you ought to have done, without neglecting the others. Woe to you Pharisees, for you love the best seat in the synagogues and greeting in the marketplaces. Woe to you, for you are like unmarked graves, and people walk over them without knowing." So Jesus, as he's gathering, doesn't wash his hands. Now, it's not because of germs that they would wash their hands, but because of ceremonial uncleanness. Because if you were walking around in a marketplace, you may have touched something that was touched by a Gentile or someone who is unclean. So in order that what you eat is not unclean, then you need to purify your hands with that ceremonial washing. By the way, that is part of Judaic law, not part of God's law. So they were adding something to it, part of the fence to keep them from disobeying the law that Judaism added. Jesus says, you know what? You're clean on the outside, but the inside, you are full of greed. You are full of wickedness. You are full of evil. You might look good on the outside, but the inside, you are not. And then he gives 3 different woes. First of all, woe to you Pharisees, for you tithe, but you neglect justice and love. In other words, you go through the routine of doing things. You are generous with what you have, even out of your garden. That's the idea of the mint and rue and every herb. Even of those things that you grow, you give a tenth of. But yet you neglect the important part that God desires: justice and mercy. And then he goes, woe to you Pharisees. It talks about the best seats in the synagogue, the greetings in the marketplace. With the Pharisees, it's about position and authority and power, and most likely more so pride. Pride in who they are, what they have done, having people look up to them. And the final one is a woe to you. You are like unmarked graves. People walk over without knowing it. You think you are clean, but you are not. The walking over the unclean grave or unmarked grave is like being unclean again. So this was a way that they were not to do that. They were not to walk over an unmarked grave because someone dead was there. But they're saying that it's just like that with you. You think you're clean, but you are not. You are sinful. You are unclean on the inside. We might look at this and say that it's really easy for us to just say, you tell them, Jesus, let them have it. But instead of being that way, let us look at ourselves. Let's see if there's a chance that as we examine our own lives, that we see areas of hypocrisy as well, so that we might repent and trust in Jesus and Him alone. God bless.